Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning update, let's go over a quick overview of what is transpiring so far across the crypto market as XRP sneaks back above the $2.30 mark, overtakes the pivot point at 229, held on gracefully to that $2.24 area, and now we're rotating a little bit back up, which is a good sign this morning. Bitcoin went down to almost 106K. And now it's reversed back to 108,770. So that's a great sign to see. Ethereum is up 1.2% on the day to 2,713. If you watched overnight, I'm not actively in position of data. I just showed the demonstration last night. It cost me though, because I didn't saw it out because I dozed off a little bit, but it cost me like $175 to do that demonstration, which I'm fully for. But as far as it goes, we'll go over it a little bit more. As data looks like it could be on a little bit of a bear flag here. Unless it just pulls back up real quick. It looks like it's going to retest at 14.6 cent or 1.46 cents. And then possibly might be a better buy around 1.2. But we'll see. This is going to take a minute. We have to see exactly where the best spot is. It looks like it's trying to set up some kind of inverse pattern. It just could be a little early still. But it's been a pretty steady drop down. And if you look at the all-time history, it's looking like it's starting to set up in that bottoming formation. It's just a matter of the exact moment. You know, we're trying to find the exact levels. And the weekly's engulfing to the downside right now. So if you watched the live last night, I showed everything you need to do to be able to buy it on Bitunix. But also, now we got a laser focus on, just like we did with MXC and ZBEC, where the exact target's going to be. So tune in tonight. We're going to focus on XRP during this update. Got to get my son to school at 8:28 a.m. So I got to leave here about 8:20. So with that being said, good morning. 7:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, May 29th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So real quickly, let's touch on XRP. Let's see exactly what we've done over this last weekly candle. Been pretty nice here. We came all the way down to $2.22, but we managed to hold that section, 223 in real time. Bounce back up. Now in the weekly, we've given ourselves a chance where if we can start pushing up here in the last day or two of this weekly candle, at least while the futures markets are open. Once we get into the weekend, it makes it a little trickier, because it's a thinly traded weekend. But right now, we can make some noise here at the end of the week. If we pull up here, this would make some serious noise. And we would end up around 265 and then $3 area if this pulls up and uses this area as a support finally. So this very well could turn into a very, very pivotal key area right now. We've been consolidating for days on end. But again, we're using this structure, the breakout, as the back test. So that's a really good sign here. If we take a look at the XRP Bitcoin pairing, it's essentially over time here come right back down to this back test. I remember when it was up here and we were talking, we're like, no, I know it could just break out, but what if it has to come all the way back down? And then that was like a 40% drop. And here we are coming all the way back down. And we've had that 40% plus drop on the XRP Bitcoin pairing. And now the question is kind of hold this outside layer, or would it have to come all the way back? If it were to, here's the thing. If we were to lose the 2023, that's how you can come all the way back down to the 819 SAT. Let's not act like it's going to happen, you know, without certain things being met, because we do have a weekly golden cross. 50 is now crossed to 200. Makes me feel like something spectacular is getting ready to happen. However, the weekly is engulfing down. You know, it's filled that out perfectly. But this is why we thought it could come back to this area to retest not just the 20-day, but come through the 200 and retest it as support now in the weekly. Looks like a big bull flag here, though. If this plays out, and there's no guarantee, the first short-term target that you would be guaranteed to see would be heading back up to this 43.47 SAT level. So, and then if you see this, that's a pretty big move here. Doesn't seem like it, but if this plays out, that's a 114% move against Bitcoin. And that would be spectacular for XRP's price. So there are a lot of different optics to look at here this morning. And none of them are overtly bearish. It's just if we fell through certain layers, then we could start talking a little more bearish. But right now, like I said, until XRP loses that descending triangle breakout point or wedge or whatever you want to call it is, and yesterday it came right down to the structure, I'm not worried in the least. Not worried in the least. If you've been on board with MXC, I know there's severe fees, and some of you realize that now on Crypto.com when you're trying to sell big gains. That's why I had to go away from it. Besides, I can send my DGB off of there and send it to LBank when the time is right, so I don't have to sell it there. But as far as certain things, I mean, it's become a nightmare on Crypto.com, and it's almost criminal. It's just like Uphold. So, you know, I had to take profit here and do it in the best way possible, even though I would have liked to have held it longer. There's been a discrepancy as much as 30% or more on Crypto.com. It's done it on a few others like Canto and other ones, but it definitely is taking advantage in the high times of volatility. So you got to get out on a rally rather than a pullback. And this looks great still. Like, there's nothing here that I see that I'm like, oh, this is bad. And there's been a better than 350% move, 400% move here. So it's a great opportunity. If you're in it, just make sure you're paying attention to the exchange side. We've got, let's see, this morning, gold's up 0.3% or 11 bucks right now to 3,299, trying to pull back that 3,300 handle. Precious metals tiny bit down in pre-market, down 3 cents for Barrett at 18.99 and down 1 cent for B2 Gold at 3.45. Silver's up 1.37%, which is a great sign here to $33.40. Silver mining stocks could have a day today. That could be why First Majestic went the opposite way the last couple of days and put on a 7% gain, despite silver being down. Up 1.11% in pre-market to $6.40. First Majestic, Pan America Silver's up 1/4% to $24.46. And Fortuna Silver Mines is up 0.5% and hits that $6 handle again. So this could be interesting for precious metals and mining stocks today. DXY's back over or right at 100 pairing. It hit the 200 day and now it's reversing back down. And we'll see if it comes through this support structure. If we were to lose this support 99.43 and get validated, next drop would be around 95.36. The 10-year government bond is up 0.67% or 3 basis points to 4.51%. Crude oil is at $62.08 per barrel, up 36 or 0.36% or 23 cents a barrel. And this continues to try to find some kind of stability, and we'll see exactly where the time is for that. As far as Bitcoin dominance this morning, first we'll look at Bitcoin up 1,000 points. And again, we don't have to break all the way down here if it continues to power out, which it very well could. And if we break to a new high, we should be going to 100 and, what is it? First target, we have it set up here. It's not all the way up to 144. First target would be around 122. So if this pushes past here, our first target's 122, seconds around 148. If this plays out 100%. So we could have a nice parabolic spike here coming soon. Now, if we break down, we do know that 90,000 area could retap. So that's something we pay attention to, but we're not 100% expecting. We're just making sure that if we were to reverse that way, that we're at least looking in the right area and what could possibly form. So we've drawn out an elongated inverse right shoulder just in case. Doesn't have to do it, but just in case it wanted to do something like that and tops out, comes down for 15-20% correction before a bounce. We like to have all areas, but just remember, you don't have to do that. So next target would be 122, followed by about 148 if this plays out progressively. Can still see that avenue, though, for that dump down. So we'll continue to monitor. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you appreciated this morning update, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the over 40,600 subscribers if you enjoy my work. Been doing this since March 24th of 2021, and I'm proud to say we've never missed a day. And I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate giving out the information as well. If you want to join, you're looking at data, you're looking at how to save fees. If you're futures and leverage traders especially, join Bitunix. Lowest spot and leverage trading fees. They are an exchange to exchange or wallet to exchange. You have to send your assets, not from bank account from sending or receiving purposes. There's XRP, there's XLM, there's XDC, there's ACH, there's data. There is so many other ones, HBAR and IOTA and VeChain and yada, 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 so on and so forth. There's XCN even. I would take advantage and stop paying these exorbitant fees. I know some people were kicked in the nuts because they never had a real gainer on Crypto.com, and once they got that 400 or 500% move, they were not feeling real good about giving back anywhere between 10 to 30% based on BS volatility schemes. So take advantage of Bitunix. Kick out the door of some of these other exchanges, and if we have to buy on some of these other exchanges, we might just have to forego certain things because we're giving it all back to them. So that's how I feel about MXC right now. So, you know, made us a ton of money. I'm going to keep that on the chart, but just for example purposes, that's on Crypto.com. We want to keep it to where we can buy it on Bitunix so we're not giving them back all of our fees. Have a blessed morning, everyone.